So it's April and we're having some more podcasts. I'm back in Lenham to talk about a few more things. There's been some great reactions to the podcast we did last time, so I'm just going to answer a few more questions. So the first thing that people asked from the initial podcast was about long notes and how to practice those. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is an exercise that I really like to do. It's one of the most important exercises I do. It's taking a middle F. What we're going to do is to extend the dynamic range of the instrument. So we're going to start off fairly middle of the road from about MP to forte and back to MP, and we're just going to do a hairpin, so we're going to do a crescendo and diminuendo. So starting off at a comfortable dynamic just to find the sound and make everything relaxed. So starting off, as I said, about MP. So the next thing to do is try not to make the sound go away from the flute. What naturally happens with the flute is this, I'll demonstrate, is that it'll get sharper, the air will go away from the flute and the pitch will scoop up, and also you'll lose the quality of the sound. So I'll just demonstrate what not to practice. As you can hear, the pitch goes really high and then drops down again. So what we have to do is the opposite to that, so that as we get louder, you drop everything, relax the embouchure. To begin with, you want to start much higher, so that you're almost on tiptoes, not physically, but you imagine that I say to my little kids that I teach that you should be like a seal with a ball on the end of your nose, so that literally you're just bringing the chin forward, the embouchure is very forward. And then as you get louder, you drop everything to relax, and then do the opposite to go back to the original pianissimo. So let's try it slightly quieter now, going from piano to maybe forte. And what we're really trying to do each time we get louder, and starting from very quietly as well, is to get a very soft attack, so with no articulation at all. Just try and find where the sound is, get the embouchure in the right place, and then produce the sound. And as I said, each time we're doing it, we want a bigger dynamic range. So eventually what you want to do is to have your 100% is something you'd never really do in a concert situation, but maybe you'd use 80% of that. But you really want to find out where it's the quietest you can possibly play, and also where the flute naturally wants to crack at the other end of the scale. So really push it where it is almost cracking, or is cracking, so you know where that limit is, that you can back off maybe 5 or 10% to reach your maximum dynamic. So let's try one a bit more realistically with a larger range. So you can hear in the last one it's almost cracking. I would still try and push it even further, but that's the kind of idea. So just to recap that, starting off about mezzo piano, going up to mezzo forte, forte, coming back down again. The most important thing is to keep the same quality of sound, to do it with no vibrato, because that distorts the pitch and also gets in the way. We want to do it just purely from a control point of view, to know how to just blow naturally through the flute, with not too much gymnastics from the embouchure, but also just getting a really pure tone. And then, as I said, the second and third time, increasing the dynamic range, so going to maybe pianissimo to forte, and then as quietly as you can the last time to as loud as you can, so 3 Fs, 4 Fs, and whatever the maximum is, to the point where the mid left almost cracks, and then backing off. But just getting that opposites, going from really everything quite high and controlled, to really dropping, and imagine that you're falling over a cliff, or there's a massive cavity inside of your mouth. Everything's relaxed, really dropping everything down here as well, and then going back up to that, not pinched embouchure, but just everything's controlled, everything's forward, very French ooh sound at the end of the note. So see how you get on with that exercise.